I don't, because I feel like I'm an atheist, so I feel like after death there's just nothing. I know it's a bit morbid, but yeah.
I do believe in both.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do believe in the supernatural.
I feel like people who see ghosts believe in ghosts already, so they kind of think they see one, but it's just in their head.
I've actually encountered something with a ghost. So I was at this manor a couple months ago, and I was taking a photo of the outside, and there was like an orb in like the centre of it, and the room kept going cold, like someone kept tapping me, and there was like nothing there.
I don't know whether you come back as a ghost or a spirit, or you like go to like somewhere else afterwards, but I just don't think like you die and that's it.
Well, I wouldn't say my house is haunted, but I'd say there's a lot of energy and like spirits of maybe like my dead loved ones in my house. I've seen kind of like tall dark figures in my house, and I would say I'm quite what's the word, like perceptive to the paranormal.
I've experienced something. I was in my friend's house. I was sitting on his chair. All of a sudden, it just went about minus 10 million degrees. I swear on my life, it went so cold, and I just generally felt someone was there.
I don't know yet. Obviously, I don't believe in ghosts, so I don't think there's ghosts there or vampire. But there could be something there. I don't know.
All the theories there about the vampire there or the hauntings there, I think they're real, but we just got to wait and see whether it is or not.
I don't know about the vampire. I feel that's a bit far-fetched, but I definitely think that it is haunted.
I believe it's haunted to an extent because it's a cemetery, but the stories about the vampire sightings, obviously they're quite old, like 1800s, early 1900s, so I don't think that's real. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to explore and see if we find anything or see anything or even hear anything.
I definitely believe there's a lot of dead bodies there, which could mean a lot of, say, energy and souls and whatever. So yeah, we'll find out. Hopefully we see some ghosts. So yeah.
We're here in Highgate Cemetery that was opened in 1839. There is about 53,000 graves here, but over double the amount of bodies, which mean in these graves there are 2 or 3 bodies.
Someone once said that if you look Highgate Cemetery in the eyes, it looks back. On the 2nd of September 1965, police received an anonymous call from someone that believed to have heard a time bomb that went off in Highgate Cemetery. When arriving at the scene, the police came to realise that the attack was on the tomb of German philosopher and political exile Karl Marx. Police found an explosive device that went off yards away from the tomb and appears to have been a failed attempt at the assassination of the tomb of Karl Marx. On the 2nd of September 1965, police received an anonymous call from someone that believed to have heard a time bomb that went off in Highgate Cemetery. When arriving at the scene, the police came to realise that the attack was on the tomb of German philosopher and political exile Karl Marx. Police found an explosive device that went off yards away from the tomb and appears to have been a failed attempt at the assassination of the tomb of Karl Marx. The bomber attempted to get the explosive device through the nose of the marble tomb, but instead caused £600 of damage. At the time, it would have been a few £1,000s, but they only damaged the marble outskirts of the tomb, and the damage was kept to a surprising low.
Lots of famous people have been buried here, such as Karl Marx, who's in the east wing of the cemetery, and George Michael, who's got his own private bit in the west cemetery. London Fire Brigade people have also been buried here.
Karl Marx was a German philosopher who most notably created Marxism. Marxism is the idea that the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer until the poor fight back and we will end up in a communist society. He died on the 14th of March 1883. He developed cataract that caused him to be ill for his last 15 months. His body was buried in Highgate Cemetery on the 17th of March 1983. However, in 2019, his grave was vandalized twice.
In the early 1970s, there were several sightings of a mysterious figure stalking the grounds of Highgate Cemetery. In 1963, the first sighting of this figure was spotted by a couple walking down Swans Lane. They saw a tall, dark figure with a ghoulish face floating behind the railing. In 1969, the sightings had raised the interest of British Occult Society member David Farrat. Both Farrat and Bishop Sean Manchester would become the most associated with the Highgate Cemetery. This does not look like a lot. This would be one of the first sightings of the vampire. One night in 1970, hundreds of people stormed over the gate of Highgate Cemetery to find and stake the vampire.
Since the cemetery opened, there's been many reports saying people have seen paranormal activity occurring on the ground.
Several people claim to have seen a ghostly figure of a crazed elderly woman. She has long grey hair and is seen running amongst the tombstones. It is said that she is searching for her deceased children, which she murdered. There are more claims like people describing a hat man, a cyclist, faces looking at people through the entrances, and a woman dressed in all white. There has also been reports of disembodied voices and sounds of bells.
No. I still think that there is still supernatural elements to the cemetery.
No, my view on the supernatural hasn't changed because we didn't see anything that people have said they saw.
No, I still think that the cemetery has ghosts in it, but I don't think that it has vampire.
No, I believe that we could have seen something. We should have seen something there, but I don't know. We just didn't.
No, I've always believed in the supernatural since I was like young, so I wasn't expecting it to change my view.
As well as doing the research stuff, I've been reading up on further stories, and I think it's hardcore evidence that it exists.
No, because all the evidence and sightings kind of seemed a bit... They just didn't seem right, in my opinion.
I don't think there was ever a vampire. I think it's a bit far-fetched, and I don't really see any real evidence towards it.
I wouldn't say I believe in a vampire, but I definitely believe that there was something that they saw, that there was doing something over there that may have resembled a vampire.
No, I think it was either, people on some really strong drugs in the 70s thinking they saw a vampire, because there's no scientific reason behind the existence of vampires, so yeah, I don't think they saw it.
I still believe it's haunted because even though we haven't seen anything that supports that it is haunted, I think that if we went like in the pitch black or something, then we would see something, and there was a bit of a creepy and mysterious atmosphere to it.
Because obviously going in, I was already a non-believer, so us seeing nothing kind of reinforces that.
I think the cemetery is haunted just because I think all cemeteries are haunted. Just because so many people have died there that it just seems like they would all be haunted.
I just feel like when there's that many bodies on bodies on bodies, literally 3 bodies a grave, there's not a lot of room for not a lot of paranormal activity, if you get what I mean. So like there has to be like if there's that many people, dead bodies, there has to be paranormal activity there. I can't say that. You can't say that there's not.
Like I've said from the beginning, I think every cemetery is haunted to an extent because, there's thousands of bodies buried there and there's a lot of energy there. So I don't think you can say that any cemetery isn't haunted.
Tell me your name. Lunatic.
What about you? I said hi.
Hi.
Hello? How are you?
Do you need our help?
What do you want?
Play.
Play what?
Come on. What's your name? My name's Tony. What's yours? State your name. What team's yours?
Are you stuck here?
You need our help.
Whoa. Did I just say you? Is this where you are?
Are you in here?
Mate, there's like a...
where they lay the body.
Look, where?
Yeah.
Ashes and that. Are you stuck behind this cage? What did it say?
Body. What's your, come on, tell us your name. Radio 1.
Right, come on then. Who tried scaring me? What did I say?
Going somewhere. Are you buried here?
Female's head.
Female's head.